Keyword research. This is something you should be doing every time you launch a product, and also to keep your product fresh, you need new keywords going into the listing to maximize your keyword indexing. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to do keyword research and use some of my favorite tools. So one of the listings we're going to be looking at is for my Age of Sage incense sticks. These are products I launched back in November. I use Small and Light for my 3-pack here. It's been a very successful product launch. You can see I've got over 826 reviews. A lot of things I've learned, a lot of great things I'm super excited to share. I also am a really big fan of Helium 10. You can get 50% off by using promo code MyAmazonGuy50, and you will need that to do some of the things we're going to talk about today. There are other PPC and SEO tools out there that you can use to do keyword research and replicate some of these things as well. But let me show you inside of here. This is a keyword tracker, and there's a bunch of different tools. We have these starred. If you see a star next to the tool inside of this drop down, that's because we frequently will use it. Today, though, we're going to be focused on mostly on the keyword research tool section, as well as the keyword tracker. So this is kind of like showing you the end before I show you the beginning, to kind of give you a flavor for context of where we're going to end up. And in here, you can see that I've got a bunch of different keywords that I track over time. You can sort this by search volume and sales and a bunch of other great things, including the impact of what a keyword could do. For example, they show you that there's approximately 4,800 sales on incense sticks, and they show you a bunch of great information. So if you want to know, like, okay, how's the search volume doing over time, you can click on this and see a very nice trend line. So apparently the week of June 11th in 2021 is the all-time low for somebody looking for an incense stick. Who knows why? I don't. But if you look at the history, man, these things got really popular back in May of 2020, and we're very much down, almost 100% from that high coming in July 8th, 2022. So it's good to know the keyword trends to see like how something is doing up and down. One of the keys to my own success is doing this keyword research and really diving deep in to see like, okay, I want to enter the market right here, right? Like on the way up. Just like you're timing the stock market, which is easier said than done, you also want to time the keyword market. And these charts can really help you to know, like if you were trying to look at this and you had the inverse and you were looking at a product with keyword research impressions going down, maybe right now is not the right time to launch that product. Now you can look at the years of data and information to make sure it's not just a seasonal blip like it might have been right here, but context is king to be able to understand like up, down, left, right, number of keywords, number of competitors. And so once you've done that, you can really get a very good handle on what to do with it. So in here, you can also see like how ranks are doing over time, and there's some date ranges and whatnot. So if we were to look at this particular keyword on my own product, you can see here when we look at last 30 days, let's go out to a year. And I've been tracking this keyword a very lengthy period of time, basically from the November launch back in here. And so when I first got out of the gate, you're going to see that I actually got this keyword all the way up to rank 30, rank 14 right there. But then it started to get soft when the new year hit. So during the first 2 months of this product launch, back on the smudge kits here, I not only had the #1 new release badge in all of incense. It was a very, very powerful launch, and the keyword data reflects that. As 2022 came along, I started to get a little soft in January and then really dipped down once we turned into the February month, was able to recover it a little bit, and it comes and goes. But when you track your keywords, when you're able to do this, you can see like, okay, there must have been something bad that happened on May 12th for me to go from rank 75 all the way down to rank 181. Sometimes there's a keyword algorithm change on Amazon that can cause this. Other times it could be like a stock out event, or you upped the prices on the product and you were able to see the impact of that by looking at the keyword tracking. So after you do all of this keyword research, the most important thing that you do is make the changes, But the second most important thing you do is track those changes, annotate the changes. Hey, I made a change to my A+ content. How did that impact me? Well, if you use a tool to track your keywords like this, you can see over time what those changes could do, what they could have caused, and that's very, very helpful. So let's dive into some keyword research. I'm going to show you from the very basic level. If you load a listing like this, you've got a Chrome extension with your keyword tool installed, you're going to be able to come in here and click on the Chrome extension and hit keywords. This is the most common way to do keyword research because you can find out how many keywords are indexed. The tool we're going to start with is called Cerebro. And what I really like about this tool is the keyword distribution map right off the gap. So I have this product right here, the incense sticks. We hit the keywords button, we're loading Cerebro, and in here you can see the distribution. Sponsored keywords, these are paid keywords or PPC keywords. Organic keywords, these are earned keywords you don't pay for. And I like to have a golden keyword ratio of 1 to 2. That is 1 sponsored keyword to 2 organic. So on this particular listing, we're very close to having that gold standard. We're at a I would need to be about 1,500. So I would give myself a silver star badge, silver star rating right now for my keyword ratio. So whenever you're looking at high distribution charts, macro trends, you can usually boil down marketing for Amazon into one of two camps. You either have a traffic issue or you have a conversion problem. And when you look at data sets like this, we know that there's plenty of traffic being spent on the PPC, but the conversion of the keywords for organic is a little soft. And that means that's probably where we're going to need to focus today on this listing to figure out what can we do to index for more keywords. That is, show up in the first 300 results on Amazon and try and maximize the value behind that. All right, so if you're at 0 on sponsored keywords, you're obviously not spending enough money on PPC. But if you're going to sell out of a product, you might have on pause temporarily. Things like that would make sense. But in this distribution, you get a pretty good sense and idea. If you're at a 1-to-1 ratio, you need to stop focusing on PPC and start spending a lot more time doing SEO and work on that. And you can use the keyword research from today and immediately go action it on your listings, because you're going to be able to know, like, hey, this is really important. I need to go focus on this, and update the listing copy, the title, the bullet points, the description, right? So if we were to go through the elements of SEO, the title is the most important element on a listing. You should spend significant time working on that and trying to make sure you address it to get a 10 out of 10 sort of title that you're looking for. The second most important thing for SEO is actually the main photo. And that's because CTR on a keyword will affect your keyword rankings quite a bit. You'll notice I have a box in the image like this that is intentional. Not only do I want to prevent hijackers from selling kind of a commodity item like this, but I also want the consumer to know, like, hey, this ships in a nice box. Like, you're going to really appreciate this product and take it seriously, right? So that's part of it. It does hurt my margins a little bit. I don't make a lot of profit on this, but I sell a 6-pack for 13 versus the 3-pack for 10. I'm clearly trying to get them to upgrade to a larger purchase here and get some cost savings. I make the most money on the 100-pack, but that's also the best deal at $1.33 per count versus the least best deal at $3.33 per count. Right? All right. So the most important elements, title, then photo, then on the back end, if we look at the keyword search terms, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Seller Central, go to the inventory page. I looked up the ASIN, and then here you can see I stocked 1,200 of these things, and I've got a little red alert here because I need to ship more in because the sales are actually pretty good right now. And although you can't see it, so I'll move my camera here, I'm ranked 24,000 in all of home and kitchen. That tells you this is a very well received product. It's doing pretty good. It's also not at the best it's ever been. This is kind of just the average place I've been. So I'm going to hit edit on that, move my camera back down here. And in here, I'm going to go to the keywords tab, which they have moved. There it is. Where is it? Where did they move that? Geez, supplier description, product identifier. Sometimes they make changes to the back-end UI, and it even throws me off. So I'm clicking on each one of these sections to take a peek for it. Product details now, is that where they stuck the keywords? They did. Okay. So normally most categories right now have a keywords tab. So that sometimes it throws me off. All right. So we're in the product details tab on my particular product. We've got the, we're going to go down to the generic keyword section first. And in here, you can stick 250 bytes of information. I was the first person on the entire internet to point out that Amazon changed from using characters to using bytes. What this means is that you have 250 bytes to put into the generic keyword tab here. What that translates to is about an extra 20% of spacing that you can put in that if you were counting by character instead of bytes, you're missing out on. That's because counting by characters counts spaces, but Amazon's rule for bytes is they don't count spaces. So you could have lots of small words inside of your generic keyword tab or search terms tab, and that would not penalize you. Likewise, if you're using Asian script or German script and you've got tildes and a bunch of other things that goes above other letters, and you've got more than just one byte in a letter, that could count the word for multiple bytes. All right, so in here, this search term field, this is the third most important thing to focus on when you're doing SEO work. It's also not customer facing, which means you can do some clever and creative things back here, like using Spanish, where you can see I've got lots of Spanish in the back end here. You can also put in misspellings. Although Amazon claims they take care of misspellings, from our experiences, you absolutely want to be doing misspellings back here and getting exact matches. Rotate this copy once every 30 to 90 days because you can rotate and gain additional indexing when you're doing your keyword research. That's why this field is the third most important. Going next would be the bullet points. Spending lots of time on the bullet points. We threw emojis on our bullets. You don't need to do that in most categories, but if you've got a playful, gifty type of category, or if you sell to people who like to cleanse their house with incense sticks like these, they might be pretty prone to like emojis. All right, as you scroll down on this page, you can see, oh my gosh, look how many ads there are, which is why we take up so much space with our A+ content. This is called a brand story. This is the newest module you can add to an Amazon detail page and is frequently overlooked and missed by most people. You need to fill this out. It's a great way to tell the story, get additional real estate in here, see how I can scroll left and right and click on different products and ask different questions and get average order values up by linking and connecting my products. It's a great module. It takes up an entire space of an entire fold of a particular product. When you scroll down, you see product description. This is the A+ content module. You'll notice that you can put in lots of pictures, lots of text. Please keep in mind when you're working on SEO and your product keywords that the text inside of the image does not help you for your indexing. However, if you right-click it and hit inspect, you can look at the HTML code and it's image alt equals. This is called alt text. And in here, you can fill in 100 characters, it is characters this time, of text, essentially, to put in keywords and search terms to try and extrapolate for additional things. The consumer technically could find this, but nobody ever looks up the code when they're shopping like this. So this is another place you can put misspellings and Spanish and other things. But if you're like me, you just put Spanish right into the text there and go for that exact match. This doesn't work in every product or category, but for this product it does, which is why I'm getting away with adding some Spanish text in there. And then notice just how much sheer volume of space I take. I mean, I'm just taking a tremendous amount of space. That's intentional because when you do your keyword research, the most important thing that you do after you do the research is implement it and put it into your copy. Well, to do that, you need lots of space. So here's the rule of thumb that I use. Text is for robots and pictures are for people and humans. And therefore, your secondary image stack up here is extraordinarily important to consumers. But this text in the bullets and the titles and the search terms and the brand story and the A+ content and the description inside of these blocks is for the robots. And with that in mind, keyword stuff as much as you possibly can, because the consumers never read this text. They do read the text inside of the images for whatever reason. So if you're going to make sure they read something, put it inside of the image, even though that doesn't help you with the robots. Down here, I really like the product grid module. It's one of my favorite modules inside of A+ content, because guess what? It's another place you can stick additional keywords, and you can go in here and say what things it includes, what things it doesn't include, and link to the other products. Notice how I have the get this CTA, or call to action, inside of the product images. That's because we found that when we include it, it increases our average order value. People are going to come in and buy more than one thing. I cross-pollinate across the brands. Sometimes I'll connect things that aren't a direct fit to the current product, just because I know if I do that, I'm going to pick up some additional sales, which is way better than them scrolling down further and checking out my competitor's stuff. You'll also see here that we have a follow button. This is the brand store, as well as the social media posts that we've been making. So once you make this master keyword research and do all of your keyword research, you need to implement it not only into the listing, but also into your social media strategy, because there's a lot of benefit into putting it into social posts and considering all of the value that you can gain free traffic. Now, in the past, these social posts only showed up on mobile, but as you can clearly see now, they're starting to show up on desktop, and that means these are additional real estates to take versus, guess what? You look down here and you see competitor products. And so we don't want to lose them to the competitors. We want to keep them on our brand, on our stuff. So taking up as much space as possible, filling out every one of these fields, not only long, big A+, luscious photos and content and brand stories, but also filling out the social posts and keeping these fresh and cross-pollinating all of the different things that a brand can post like this. And then once you go over to the brand store, you can see there's a bunch of products you can load here, additional opportunities to tell the brand story. You can build out an entire storefront with sub-pages like this. So these are all the things you're going to do once you do the keyword research and you track everything. But if we go back over to Cerebro here and check it out, looking back at that distribution, how do we know where to start our product research? So what you're going to do is you're going to look at 10 competitor products and you're going to pull them into Cerebro, and you're going to create what's called a master keyword list. And basically what you're doing is you're combining all of this data into one location, and that allows you to extrapolate and know that, okay, these 10 products are all consistently ranking on this keyword data set. These are the most relevant keywords with the highest impressions, and I'm going to score those top to bottom 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and allowing us to understand where to focus our attention. But if you start this out, you're on the beginner level, what you'll essentially do is just go look at a couple competitors here and sort the data and say, hey, okay, these are the ones that they're ranking in the top of the SERPs for. That's the search engine results page. And here you can filter and sort the search volume to see what is the most important. You've got sage, you've got incense, sage candles for cleansing house, incense sticks, and the list goes on. And here we're going to be able to understand, like, okay, so there's some really big keyword volumes on some of these keywords, and there's some big opportunities. Once you understand that there's a big opportunity and you're doing a brand new product, you're going to probably want to stick these keywords directly into the title. So this is a signal to you that when you do this keyword research, you're going to take this keyword and put it directly into the listing in multiple locations. So let's see how I did with the keyword sage candles for cleansing house. We're going to go over to the listing again, and we're going to do a Control F, and we're just going to type in sage candles for cleansing house. And what you're going to see here is clearly I paid attention to the data set. I put it straight into my title. Why did I do that? Because look here, 62,000 search volume in a month. That's a drastically high number. This is something we've got to pay attention to, right? If we look at the trend for this, you can see that right now the trend is drastically up in the month of July, which means this is an even more important keyword it was right now than it was previously. If we try and go back out further, guess what? It's up at an all-time high right now. That's a really good thing. That means a lot of people are looking for this. The other thing you'll notice is that the product I sell is not a candle, which is kind of a really big point, right? Like, should you tell the consumer what your product is or isn't, or should you let the consumer tell you what it is or isn't? Well, one of the ways that I came to this, so here is data set number 1 telling us this is an important keyword. Another really cool dashboard that everybody needs to check out, this is especially true for mature listings that you've had around a while, is go over to the search query performance report. And in here, this is part of brand analytics. You need brand registry for this. You can select the brand, you can select the data range of reporting and hit apply. And in here, what do you guys see? Sage candles for cleansing house. And in here, it tells us exactly the search query volume, the impression counts, and whatnot. Now, what's interesting of note here is that the search query volume is showing 1,600, which I believe that they're doing on a weekly or a monthly basis. It's not really abundantly clear, but I'm going to say weekly. And in here, you'll notice this number is significantly smaller than the suggested search volume right here, which they're defining as the estimated number of times this keyword is searched monthly. So if we times 1,600 by 4, it's nowhere nearly the size of 62,000. So you do have to take these volumes with a grain of salt. This data in the search query performance report inside of Seller Central is directly from Amazon. We believe these numbers to be the Bible, directly accurate. So when you're doing your keyword product research, you're going to want to take these numbers as gospel. However, when you're starting a new product, you won't have access to these. So you should definitely consider using these as the baseline as you get started. Now, Helium believes the trend is up 186% right now, but their data could very well be off. There could be a reason why they see a spike, but Amazon doesn't. So right here, you'll see this is the data set for July 3rd to July 9th of 2022. And this is sorted already by the value of the search query, the value of how much important this keyword is to my brand. Now, one of the most frequently common questions I get asked about this report is, can I download it? The answer is no. Unfortunately, not yet in 2022. I think that'll probably change here probably in the next 3 to 6 months. Another common question I get is, can I understand this keyword down to the ASIN level or the particular product? And the answer to that is, unfortunately, no. You only get this data at the brand level. I've got a cameo coming. This is my 3-year-old daughter, Sage, and this is the, here, come on over. She's, well, she just wet her pants. I'm going to hit pause and take care of this, guys. I'll be right back. I love being a dad, and Sage is the reason I made this brand. I know nothing about Sage Sticks, but her name is Sage. She's 3, and I really wanted to leave a brand for my daughter. So that's my why. That's why I do all the things that I do and shoot all the content, build out the agency. So nice to take a little anecdote there. But if we get back to business here, so here's the data. It's already pre-sorted based on what Amazon says is the most important. And although I don't know which specific product, it's pretty easy for me to know that this keyword is for this product in particular. And so I put it into the title. I was able to do a bunch of really cool stuff. This is why I call the search query performance the ICAP marketing funnel, and it stands for ICAP: impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. This particular keyword that we're looking at right now is one of my biggest use cases to show and study, because I was able to do keyword research and then immediately implement it and gain market share. So the ICAP marketing funnel leads to gaining market share. This is part of our SEO phase 4 that we do at My Amazon Guy. And check out the data right here. I started with 2.75% impressions when I first did this in the first week of data, and within 7 weeks, I went to 7.5% of impressions. That basically is triple the data for the amount of market share that I'm getting seen by the consumer. The clicks went from under 8% to 20%, which means not only did I increase the eyeballs, but I almost tripled the amount of people who clicked onto my product specifically, which is insane if you think about it. I mean, this is a gigantic number. 1 out of 5 people on a keyword that Cerebro says is 62,000. It's not 62,000, but pretty close, within 50,000. And that's pretty awesome, because you're able to look at the analytics here and be told what's the most important. Now, during week 27, the volume has gone down, but during week 13, if we go back to that, And here's another example of how you can track your keyword research success rates. It was at 2,900 search volume. And here's the original data set from 2.75% on the impression brand share. By week 20, we're going to apply that, and you can see Sage Candles for Cleansing House. Now I'm at 7.52%. And the clicks at just 1 percentage click off of that 20% right there. And that's pretty awesome to see that data in real time and be able to go from what I did to more than 1 out of 5 people purchasing my product after clicking on it, right? So if you extrapolate down the list here, now we've got add to carts, then we have the purchases right there, and that's why I call it the ICAP marketing funnel: impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. So after you do your keyword research, you're going to want to track it. You can track it in both the keyword tracker inside of Helium 10 right here, and then you can see here Sage Candles for Cleansing House. We're tracking that as well as the trend line. So I'm in rank 20 right now, or ranked 2017 to 21 week to week here, or day to day. And I'm trying to defend that turf because it's such an important keyword for my brand. So important that Amazon puts it at #1 as the most important thing that I need to focus and work on because of the market share opportunity, and track it over time. So it's a really, really cool and powerful tool. It's free. It's part of Amazon Seller Central Search Query Performance Report, part of Brand Analytics. It is in beta, and it is an incredibly powerful tool. All right, so you learned how to access it in Search Query Performance. You learned you can track the keywords in the Helium 10 Keyword Tracker tool. You learned that Cerebro gives you the keyword distribution and indexing, as well as some trend lines up and down. So what's next? So if you're going to build out that master keyword list, you would do this on 10 competitors, build an Excel file, and then look at all of the different keywords that are all at the top of the search results, sort it by search volume, rank them all, and then keep going. Another cool tool, though, is inside of Helium 10. So if you look at the tool list here, you can see under keyword research, we've done Cerebro. We can reverse product lookup. You can also go to Magnet, and inside of Magnet, you can type in keywords. So let's type in Sage Candles for Cleansing House, just like this. And in here, we're going to be able to extrapolate a bunch of additional keywords and information and suggestions that we can understand and look at, right? So here, they're not showing us the search volume for whatever reason, which is kind of silly considering how important it is. But under here, we can see other keyword phrases that are similar. So Muji candles, I have no idea what that is. But when we look at it, it looks pretty similar. Somebody who would buy this would probably buy my product. So I have never seen Muji candles before. Hopefully I'm even pronouncing that correctly. Let's go over to my listing. Do I have the word Muji? And probably I don't. It doesn't show up, not even in one of my sponsored product ads from a competitor on my own page. So now, if Magnet is saying this is a related keyword phrase, does it have the search volume to justify us looking at this? And honestly, I don't know the answer to that. But what I will say, and I don't want to make sure this is a brand name. It doesn't look like it is. It looks like an actual category term. So what we could do next is go into our listing, hit edit on it, and try and figure out how we would improve the listing, essentially, right? So if we go to the product details section, we look at the description, we look at the bullets, where could we stick in Muji, right? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to define Muji. I just want to see what it means, make sure it's relevant. Slang or abbreviation form of Mujahideen, which refers to Islamic terrorists. All right. Okay, that was not on my bingo card for this. I only do one-shot takes and edit it, so we're not editing that one out. So I might pick a different keyword, knowing what I do now about that. Well, maybe we'll nix that one. All right, so I probably don't want to put that onto my listing. Don't want Amazon to yank my product. So that's a great example of why you do this keyword research to figure out what I should include and what should I not. All right, so candleless. Yankee, I'm guessing that's probably a misspelling of Yankee Candles, and that might be kind of an interesting thing. So if we do this, is there exact match for this on the search results? There is not. I'm pretty sure that's a misspelling. And so if we go into our listing keywords, do we have a misspelling for candles in here? Survey says no. Should we add it? And so I think we probably might be able to get away with it, right? One of the other cool things here is you can see here is the proof that you're only going to have 250 bytes, not characters. And clearly the error message right here says value for generic keyword is no longer than the allowed maximum 250 bytes. So anybody who thought characters was in this search volume term section, clearly error message says otherwise. Help files back me up on this. I broke this news back in February of 2022, made a ruckus. I tagged all the keyword tools, including Helium 10, telling them they were all calculating this incorrectly. It was lots of fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this and say, hey, what should we cut out? What is maybe not so important? I'm going to just kind of cut the word Juliet. I'm going to look for other things that I might want to cut. So something I focused on in the past was witchy, but the keyword data just never really improved, so I'm going to ditch that. So I made room in there for that. Now, Yankee is technically a trademark term. I run a little bit of a risk by including it. However, Yankee itself, as it's not connected to the candles, we're doing a misspelling next to it. I think I can get away with that, and I like to just get right up to that edge of the layer when I do tests on my own products to show you what happens if something goes wrong, and then I'll do another video to show how I get it fixed. So I take some risks, mostly because I don't make money on these products, or at least I mean I do, but I don't do it to make money. I do it to show and tell and to demonstrate more than anything, and I focus on the agency mostly. So there's an example. We ran Magnet. We said, hey, this might be an important keyword. Magnet's going to show us keywords that are not necessarily on my radar for other things. Now, there is Yankee Candles right there, 25,000 search. And as we scroll down, we can see positive energy gifts and other things. We might want to go ahead and now sort this by search volume to see what else might come up here that might be relevant. So we got crystals, fall decor, housewarming gifts. You know, housewarming gifts is not an angle that I have chased at all. So this is a keyword that I think we might want to check here. Housewarming gifts, new home. We probably don't have that on our listing at all at this point. So let's type in the word house. Let's do warming. No housewarming gifts at all. So in here, one of the things we could do is we could put it into one of the bullet points. Thoughtful gift. It could also be like, so there's a house emoji right there. Invite positive energy. Approach to clear space. So somewhere in here, we could probably fill it in. So purifies the environment. Great for housewarming gifts, new home. Right? So now that doesn't grammatically make sense. Great housewarming gifts, new home. So how would we go about doing that? Sometimes if you want to get an exact match of a keyword, the best place to do it is a headline of the A+ content. And I might have to do that here. Great for housewarming gifts, new home. I'm going to go ahead and leave it just like this because I don't believe anybody reads the bullets anyway, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it in. So that's a case example. We looked at the data. There's 115,000 search volume. I'm curious, does this show up on the search query performance? Let's do the keyword warming. It's not even on there. So if your product is not indexing, it won't show up on the query performance report, which is why you need to use an additional tool called Magnet to do research to find new things. The other thing too is we might find this on some of the competitor keywords that we'd find by using a master keyword list and building that out as well. So as we scroll down, is there any other things? Cute room decor, probably not my thing. Healing crystals, maybe that's the sort of person who would buy this would probably buy that as well. Palo Santo, we've got that one covered. And as you go down the list, you're going to knock a lot of these out pretty quick, but then you'll find some good things like chakra, scented candles, small candles, stuff like that. Smokeless ashtray will also show up, and you'll just kind of be like, I don't really get it. That can happen. So that's the tool Magnet, which will get you like keywords. Let's click on the Analyze Keywords tool, which, by the way, you can enter up to 200 keywords, which will give you a detailed summary of up to 200 keywords of which interests you. And it'll tell you what's worth keeping using filters and organizing keywords that matter most. So if we were to take this keyword here, as well as sage candles for cleansing house, and we added in sage and sage incense and stuff like this, and then hit enter. Let's see what it does when we analyze the keywords. This is a part of the tool I don't use very much, but what you do get is a keyword summary, the average search volume, some of the search volume distribution and word frequency. And down here you can see additional information. When you click on this button, it'll actually load over on Amazon. I own 2% of the market share for Sage as a term, which is kind of cool. And I got that data from the brand search query performance report, which you can see right here. So I get 2.5% of all the search cart ads. Let's scroll to the far right. I get 5% of the impressions, 4% of the clicks. So in this case, I have what's called a tornado, and that is when I've got more of a higher percentage at the top of the funnel, and it shrinks as it goes down. In the instance of Sage Candles Cleansing House, I had a pyramid. So let's pull up that back on screen to explain this. The impression count down here was lower than my clicks, which was lower than my add to carts, which made a pyramid shape. What this means is I need to focus on the traffic of the listing because the conversion rate improved against the market share of all of the competing products, all of the competitors. Keep in mind these percentages right here from the search query performance report are indicative of how I am doing against all other products. Therefore, your marketing funnel, if you have a pyramid or a tornado, depending on the shape, it will tell you you have a problem either with traffic or you've got a problem with conversion. And in this particular instance, when I have a pyramid, it's a problem with traffic. And so you want to go in and buy more traffic. You want to spend more on PPC. You want to work more keywords into the listing. And that's the greatest example here with Sage Candles for Cleansing House. So really good informative information inside of that report. We used magnets just now. And the next tool we're going to go over to is going to be the Misspellinator. So this is a misspellings checker. Of course, do not have permission to view this. Thank you, Helium 10. All right, so let's scroll over here. Click on this. We're going to go to the Stephen Pope dropdown. This is the worst thing about Helium 10 is if you have an enterprise plan, it bugs out all the time. I constantly complain, but it falls on deaf ears over there. All right, so inside of Misspellinator, here are the original keywords. So what you can do here is you can go download a downloadable report either from your keywords that you're tracking, or you can go over to Cerebro and download it from there. One of the fastest ways to download a keyword report is just inside of Cerebro. You can go over here and hit the export button or export data. So you can download it to a CSV if you hit export. You can and then you can also copy to clipboard if you use the export data button. And so if we go back over to the Misspellinator, we're just going to go ahead and type it in right here and hit prepare. So let's see what the Misspellinator comes up with. Here are all the prepared keywords. We've got sages, sage, salvia, galaxy, cleansing, and the list goes on. So it gives us all of the unique words that can possibly show up. And what it can do is it'll check for all of the misspellings and show you like the original words, find misspellings and the uses, and filter common words and stuff like that. So no keywords for checking. So let's see. Okay, so white with a W there. Let's see what that does when we click this button here. Find misspellings started. And so I don't really know what happened, actually. I barely ever use this tool because usually when you look at the Cerebro report, you can filter it by the filter and figure out like what's going to matter. So I'm not really clear what I'm missing here. Feel free to add a comment. Let me know what I'm doing wrong when I use this. So, and I'm not really clear at all. I've grayed out now. I can't click around. Yeah, that's pretty confusing. Okay. Oh, it's fetching misspelling still. All right. So I just had to be a little patient and wait for that. So I waited for it, hit finish, something went wrong, try again later. So Misspellinator checking for keywords, maybe not the tool for me, but let's go back to the tool keyword list here. And we also have my list keywords, save your keywords. So this is not necessarily something that you're going to track, but you're just going to save them. And then you can create folders, number of keywords, what marketplace, and when you're looking to do them, and the date added. And this is just a way for you to organize your master keyword list. I personally don't use this. I use a Google Sheet, and I'll save it on my drive, and I prefer to do that, and it's a little easier to navigate it. But you can go in here and click on things that you're saving. So we had a test project unrelated to My account, here we had ARM compression sleeves and search volumes and competing products and date added. And of course, you can export the keywords. You can export it like this and match. So if you're doing a product research project, you can use that tool to come in here and save the keywords before you actually commit them to your tracker. And this could allow you to do keyword research across multiple products, multiple categories. Finally, after you select the ones you want to do, you'll take it from the My List and upgrade it, navigate it over to the keyword tracker. All right. The next thing I want to do is I want to look at some competitor reports. So we're going to go over to Amazon. We're going to type in Sage Incense, and we're going to see what everybody else is doing. And when you're looking at your top competitors, you're going to want to look for things that have a BSR that is in the top of the rankings or categories. So in here you can see 12,000, 8,000, 2,000, 27,000. These are all very competitive products. However, these ones are more of the Palo Santo element and not as directly relevant. So I'm going to ignore the Palo angle. I want to look more at the smudge sticks like this. And this is probably my #1 competitor. They're at 2,200 in the home and kitchen. This is something I want to learn a lot about. So in here, we can see what they're up to. They're also going for Sage Smudge Stick for home cleansing, incense healing, meditation, and stuff like that. They even have the word rituals, and they have a lot of things chalked into there. You'll notice our main images are pretty similar, which is fine. They don't have the humanization element. I think we have a little bit of an edge there. They sell it as small as a 1-pack. Their 3-pack is less expensive than ours, but we come with a box. They don't. And I think I can maximize it on that. So they have the nice small business badge, which is kind of cool, but not really that helpful or relevant for our product research. In here, we can track to see like how they're doing. They raise their prices up and down. You can see that they have a direct correlation. Part of the reason you might raise a price, though, is to prevent a stock out. There's some advantages to that. I prefer to go for margin and prevent the stock out. These guys are missing their brand story. They have limited text inside of the A+ content, and they're having lots of big images, but they do have a big, strong text chunk right there. They don't utilize the product grid as best as they can, so if you're my competitor watching this, you could make some improvements. All right, so we're going to look at their keyword distribution, though. Theirs is going to be better than mine, despite the fact see how it switched over my Cerebro again? This is such an annoying thing for you, Helium 10. Like, just awful, awful. So in here, if we go into Cerebro, so I actually have to now type in the ASIN again, going back into Cerebro. Super annoying, guys. All right, so we're going to click here, hit Get Keywords. We're going to run a new search because this is the first time I've looked at this competitor in about 90 days. And I want to get a fresh keyword shot. So here they go, 3,200 organic keywords. They have a platinum ratio because they're doing better than 1 to 2. I usually like to see a 1 sponsored keyword to 2 organic. These guys are doing, let's see, what is that roughly, a 1 to 5? Yeah, 1 to 5 or so. So they're doing really, really good with their organic indexing. So we could run a keyword distribution gap analysis here to say, okay, we're going to download this list, we're going to sort it by relevancy, and then we're going to figure out like why they're doing better than us and how they're indexing for more keywords on their listing. So some of the things that we'll do is we'll sort this by their organic rank. They have 50 keywords in the top rank, including Sage Energy, Sage Naturals, just dominating across the board there. We can sort this by search volume to decide, okay, what's the most important thing? So they're #1 for the term Sage, but in incense, they're 115. So as we scroll down and see some of these search volumes, what is it that we need to pay attention to? So Sage Smudge Kits is absolutely one that we probably need to pay attention to. Their organic rank 1. It's a 29,000 search volume term. Super important to focus on this. There's also the Palo Santo angle, but they're not Palo Santo, so it's not as relevant. They have dried lavender. And so you can go up into the filter list, sort it by search volume, and then keep it in the top rankings like this. So if we want to just look at things that they're in the top 10 ranks for, it'll give us an even faster idea and way to do the keyword research. We can then also see the trend lines as well as the volumes and make some extrapolations. So now that we've got this a little bit filtered and tailored in, where is the value? Where are they doing incredibly well on that we need to focus on? So Sage to burn for cleansing. 1,500 search volume, they're rank 1. How do we fare? Let's click on the live listing and see if we can find ourselves find the Age of Sage box, and I'm right there. So I'm up there, but I'm getting beat out by 7 other products. So is there a way for us to improve our rank on Sage to burn for cleansing house? So I'm going to go ahead and copy this keyword. I'm going to go to my listing. Let's actually click on my listing here. And we're going to do a Control F to see, do I have an exact match? And I do not, I don't believe. Yeah, I did the Control F, nothing came up, right? So I have a 1 for 1, but I think it's finding it from the search box. Yep. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my product and say, okay, where can I put an exact match? Can we stick it into the bullet points? Sustainably grown, thoughtful gift, invite positive energy, aromatic white. So I hit 4 lines here, 3, 3, 3, and 4. So probably want to add it to one of the 3 lines. And then we got the word shrub just randomly hanging out here. Sage to burn for cleansing. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it right there. That's going to be my exact match, and we're going to report back and see how we did. It's a 1,500 search volume. I'm in rank 7. Can I get it up to rank 2, rank 3? I probably won't be able to get it to rank 1 just because I don't have the velocity that this guy has, but that's kind of an idea there. So now we have dried sage. There's a 1,000 search volume. Do I have an exact match for dried? I cannot believe this, guys. I don't have a direct match for dried sage on my listing. So that's a huge opportunity. There's a reason why this guy is indexing for more keywords than I am, because I don't have the exact match. I'm actually kind of curious, though. Does he have the exact match? Where are we on the, here we go. Control F. He, too, doesn't have the exact match, but he's still indexing better than me. And maybe he had it previously and rotated it out. Tough to say. So I'm going to see if I can fit the word dried into my back end of my search terms. I was able to not sneak it in. So now we're going to go through, remove the word which. I thought I deleted that already. Maybe I already hit save and I'm overriding on 2 different fields. Yes, that's the case. All right, so hopefully I'm not doing double work here. Let's see, what did I do over here? Nope. Okay, I can close this one, I think. Okay, so in here, we're going to remove, let's see, what do we want to remove to make room for this? So we want the word dried to be entered in. Hopefully I closed the right one. Now I'm wondering if I didn't. All right, so scroll to the far right, sage for burn for cleansing. What's the word we're going to delete today? Probably the word lick. Yeah, that looks pretty good. The word twin. All right, so now I made room for dried. So we got dried in the back end. And then where else can we put aromatic white, dried sage, maybe? I don't want to go to 4 words before there, but we're going to do that. Okay, so we got dried sage in there. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save and finish. The other thing that we can do is we can go into the A+ Content Manager like this. We can look up sage. Smudge kits, that's the 6-pack. We want to look for the 3-pack. I usually do most of my work on the 3-pack because it's the highest velocity BSR. We're going to hit edit on it. We're going to go and find out where we can get some more exact match. So dried sage candles for cleansing house. They're not really candles. A little inaccurate there. And then we're going to hit edit onto one of the photos like this. And we're going to switch out. So large stone, some of these words may or may not make sense. So we're going to do dried sage. What was the other word we worked on today? I already forgot. So scrolling back up, sage bundle, burning sage. Here we go. So sage for cleansing house, negative energy. So we want an exact match of that to go into our A+ content. We're going to delete some of the words that may not make as much sense. The word soldier and merchant, kind of not feeling those. And we got to get rid of one more word. We're going to get rid of Samick. Okay, so I'm going to hit add onto the A+ content. We're going to then go and see if there's any other places we might be able to stick the word dried. We want to get a couple more iterations of it. Age of Sage, Smudge, sticks 3-pack, 100-pack. Probably don't want to put it right there on the product title. Metric, sustainably sourced, includes Abel Shell. Great gift, great box, bulk 100. I'm going to say dried sage right here. And I'm going to scroll up 1, 2, 3. So these are the 3 that are dried sage. So we're going to put the 3 boxes like that. And gift box. Why would these be none? And there's text over here. That doesn't make sense. All of these are basically coming in a gift box.
So we're gonna switch these to checkboxes like this because almost everything comes in a gift box. Why is there text right there? It's pretty weird. Okay, well, all of these come in a gift box. They're all, and then these three are the dried sage. So the next thing we do is we hit apply ASINs, review and submit, submit for approval, submit for approval. This change will probably go through in less than 24 hours, allowing us to get as much juice as possible into the listing and really make it shine. All right, so I just showed you guys how to do the product research, go in there and make immediate changes, and then after you make these changes, annotate the changes, then go back, check to see how your market share goes up, looking at the search query performance report, track the keyword inside of the keyword tracker report to see if you move up in the rankings. And then this is how you know if you improve in your traffic, you're improving in your keyword ranking, then your market share is going up and you're going to get more clicks, which then leads to more purchases, which of course is the whole point to selling on Amazon. I have hundreds of videos on SEO. Check out this playlist next if you want to learn about our 4 phases of SEO, where I go through indexing, to matriculating the keyword ranking, to gaining your market share like we kind of talked about today in our ICAP marketing funnel, impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. It's a lot of fun doing this stuff. Add your questions to the comment section. If you want to help me rank this video, write in the comment section, keyword product research, Amazon, or something along those lines. That will really help me out. Thank you for watching. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy.